Let's get to Walter Masterson talking to MAGA people at Trump's arrest in Fulton County Jail.
Forgiato.
What's up, my dog? Again, you?
Again.
You gonna try to Riz me again? What's up? It's the Riz King. I love left media.
Tell me why Trump is innocent.
You gonna change my words? What we gonna do? Trump's innocent, man. The reason why they pushing Trump so hard is because if Trump doesn't go to jail, they go to...
First of all, is he on Ozempic? What's going on? 4G self-suck? 5G self-suck is like looking a little skinny here. Maybe it's the black shirt that he's wearing. He's looking a little bit slimmer than usual. He's 3G auto blow now.
The jail. They don't want him in this race. They want him off this ballot. He's the president of the United States or a former president of the United States. He doesn't need to get a mugshot. He doesn't need to be handcuffed. All these indictments are backfiring. They're not going to help him because you don't like Donald Trump. I like Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, there's people who play 50-50 don't really know, and this shit here is making them say this is taking it way too far. Even you, my man, like you had to have more money when Trump was in. The economy's much better now, right? With Donald Trump.
The economy's better?
With Donald Trump. Then now, Donald Trump has helped so many people become who they are. Like you got to go undercover as someone who likes Donald Trump to get views.
Not all of us can get an inheritance from our dad.
I know, from daddy, for Auto Trader, right?
Yeah,
which I love anybody to show me where I got any money from anybody in my family. Never received an inheritance. I don't know what inheritance I could have got. But you know what? I got 6 Rolls Royces on my own. Supporting Donald.
That's so awesome. I mean, he's directly being like, I'm a grifter. I made a lot of money supporting Donald Trump. So, of course, I'm supporting Donald Trump. That's so funny. And he's like, Walter, didn't you also make a lot of money technically because of Donald Trump? Because a lot of people are paying attention to you? It's funny.
Trump. I got brand new cars, Tahoes, Trump trucks, billboards, money. Because you know what? I get up every day and chase my dreams in this world that Donald Trump let us do that and fight for freedom.
The thing that people joke about is your whole born to ride Donald Trump.
Born to ride 45, that's the gang.
Yeah.
That's the gang. We out here putting on for Trump.
Do you like...
Putting on for Trump. Them people out here putting on for Trump.
That's funny, though. It's funny.
I don't think it's funny.
It's funny. It's so funny. Dude,
I don't think it's funny.
Born to ride Donald Trump.
I don't think that's funny. You're trying to Riz me. This man got some Riz challenge.
I know, but it's funny.
This is the Riz
it's
challenge.
Funny. It's come on.
Let's go to the next one.
Listen.
Next one.
Damn, he's getting like kind of mad. Like, no, it's not. I don't think he can't be that stupid, right? Does he not realize it?
They are devil worshippers, right, Rihanna? Are we a devil worshiper at the Super Bowl Sunday halftime show with The Weeknd? I am homeless in heels working for President Trump on my dime and my time across this country since
No shot these people have jobs, right? No, they do. But it's not like a job that demands, it's not like a labor job. You know what I mean? They're not getting wages. In a lot of instances, they are landlords or, you know, they're wives of landlords. You know what I mean? They have capital. So they have like a lot of time on their hands. They own businesses or they're like fucking real estate agents and shit like that. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that there aren't like poor people that are in the Trump constituency. Of course there are, but a lot of these are passive income jobs that keep them afloat somehow. But like husbands on disability, even though they literally fucking personally are constantly complaining about welfare. Like, you would be shocked. It actually doesn't even, I don't know, they just don't give a fuck. Like, it's very weird. So many of the people, especially in the South, that shit on disability and entitlements and all this shit, they unironically use it and like sometimes don't even recognize that they are benefiting from it. And at other times they do recognize it, but they're like, but we deserve it. Other people are faking it.
2015. No justice, no peace.
Love you, baby. I'm with Trump
no
too.
Justice,
I'm
no
with Trump
peace.
Too. I'm with Trump too.
Yeah.
You
What the
liberals
fuck?
that are out there, they have my balls in a vice. President Obama is married to a man. Mike Obama's private parts are bigger than a family-sized can of right guard. Why do you think they killed my sister, Joan Rivers? Why did John Johnson try to kill me? That's me. I used to be a nice girl, went to finish it.
I mean, she's just schizophrenic, I think, right? At this stage, I don't know if this person is just like schizo or on a cocktail of medication and also just a Trump supporter. Maybe a bit of both. I don't know what's happening there.
A lot of talk about the weaponization of law enforcement. DOJ, the FBI, IRS, CIA. What do you think should be done about the weaponization of law enforcement?
Well, the only thing that really can be done is to clear them out, clear everyone out, especially at the top. I don't think it's the rank and file that are that corrupt. I think it's the ones in leadership. And I think that the corruption is so deep and so entrenched in these organizations that they really have to be totally destroyed. And of course, we know Kennedy said said that he was going to do that with the CIA.
Before he died.
And we saw what happened with him. They put a bullet in his head. Dangerous venture to go against these people. They're going to destroy you, and we see what they're doing to Trump.
Almost like an abolishing. You have to destroy and rebuild these institutions because their foundation is just too rotten.
Exactly.
I sound like a liberal when I talk like this. When I talk about this, you know, like, because they talk about abolishing these institutions and they well, because it's like they're basically saying you can't reform these institutions. They're just so corrupt. You need to destroy and rebuild.
I think that we're far past conservative and liberal. I mean, those are what the labels they want to put on us to divide us. But the truth is, we're far past that at this point. We're far past Republican.
Yeah, totally. Like, they definitely didn't think that when they were voting for George W. Bush. Like, people are so fucking stupid about this, where it's like, oh, it's just evil versus good. It's like, no, you said that about every election, and Democrats say that too. There's like no other way of framing this conversation beyond like good and evil. Like, Republicans are evil, Democrats are good, we got to vote for the Democrats. Republicans do the other thing on the other side where it's like Democrats are evil and Republicans are good and we need to fucking defeat the evil. Why? Because politics is supposed to be about a distribution of power and resources. But in the United States of America, all of that is under a vice grip of those who own both parties. Okay? And the people on the ground are just having these fucking petty squabbles left and right. Like, it's wild that this conversation basically turns into, oh, well, the other side's they want to do evil. That's why I want to win. It's like, how about issues, man? How about some issues? Like, how about I want to vote for the Republicans because, like, I don't know, I love deregulation. I love toxic pollutants in my water supply. That's why I want to vote Republican. How about, oh, I want to vote for the Democratic Party because I love healthcare. I think the Democratic Party, I'm an idiot, and I think the Democratic Party actually is genuine when they say we want universal healthcare coverage. You know what I mean? Everyone is an annoying little fucking centrist at the end of the day when they're all fucking neoliberal centrists. Their mannerisms, their attitudes, their interests, and they're just like deviate slightly on certain issues where they're like, oh, I'm going to vote for the Republican Party because like they're actually more violent towards undocumented immigrants. And it's like, it's not really the case. I mean, the Brandon administration is not exactly great on its treatment of immigrants that are coming over the border. You know what I mean? They're not great either. Don't worry. If you were looking at it honestly, you would recognize that both Democrats and Republicans are kind of doing the same shit with marginal deviations. But obviously those marginal differences lead to dramatically different outcomes for people on the ground. And what I mean by that is the Republicans are running on culture war issues, and ultimately those culture war issues do end up harming people, clearly, and the Democrats don't do enough to defend those people. I mean, marginalized people, but marginalized people are voiceless. They rarely ever vote because why the fuck should they? Because their interests are not represented.
In Atlanta, they're building a military facility. It's like 100 acres, millions of taxpayer dollars, and it's like it's militarizing the police force of Atlanta.
But I think the better question to ask is who's behind that? The taxpayers may be funding it, but who's behind that? There's someone pushing these things. There's a reason that the Chinese are setting up police stations all over our country. I mean, who's behind
Wait a second, I haven't heard. No, that one I haven't heard. Tell me everything about that one.
I have heard. Are you familiar with the Epoch Times?
Epoch Times, yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I have read that in there, that the Chinese are opening up police stations throughout our country.
I love that. They're against federal law enforcement, and they hate it because, like, you know, the federales, the agents are coming after their big, beautiful boy, Donald Trump. Meanwhile, she's literally repeating propaganda from a CIA-backed cult in China that has been able to captivate and mind melt so many fucking boomer brains with their propaganda that is totally allowed to be spread in the United States of America. That is what is awesome about this situation.
Did you know that recently there has been Fulton County Jail is being sued? They let a mentally challenged man die, and he died from bed bugs, and his cell was completely filthy.
I just wish they would like expand on this like anti-carceral state attitude that they fucking have only when their big beautiful guy is in the crosshairs of the criminal justice system.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
You like him. You've met him.
At first I was against it. I was like, I think this is a horrible idea, until I sat back and I really I thought about it a lot.
I told you that every fucking Groyper dork loves Vivek because he hits the Groyper dork lines pretty hard. In the same way that they loved Ron DeSantis because they thought like he's going to be instituting fascist policies like he's doing in fucking Florida, not realizing that in order to get to that position of power, at least in the national election, you have to have a little bit of charisma. But when you look like this and you talk like this, you dress like this, you act like this, you don't necessarily have a good barometer for what kind of rhetoric and what kind of politician is going to be received well by the broader demographic of voters.
You know, the founding fathers actually had a very restrictive right to vote, and they in their writing repeatedly said that that's necessary to preserve a republican form of government. And so we've had an experiment over the last 50 to 100 years of maximizing voter turnout, you know, and has that made the government better or worse?
Back then, it was just wealth. It was landowners, and they would pick.
And I love that.
Well, actually, I mean, originally the states picked the president. There was no popular vote for president, and so the original design of the founders was to have the states have their ambassadors in Washington, aka the senators, and the states to pick the president, so that the president was not chasing after the votes directly of people and then promising programs, gifts, etc. We apparently thought we knew better than the founding fathers, and I'm not sure.
Dude, that's crazy. That's awesome. Like, we should make this process even less democratic. That's sick. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're... First of all, wait, hold up. You're in Georgia. Do you really want the Georgian senators to pick... Hold up. You want your senators to pick the president, dog? Like, I know... Listen, I know that Republicans love when land votes instead of the people on top of that land. But, like, kind of weird for him to be like, yeah, the senators should have a say in who gets to be the president, not me. And it's like, bro, look at your senators right now. I forgot for a brief moment. I was captivated by the beauty of Peter Griffin, fake lawyer Peter Griffin, for a second, and forgot that they're literally in, you know, Georgia.
Institute a civics test to vote.
I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure? Yeah.
He's like, I'd fail.
And all of you liberals,
you're going to still vote for him, even if he's convicted.
We will. I will vote for him. I'm wanted. I am vote for him. Abby, I'm wanted in 4 states.
Okay, maybe she's not just anti-law enforcement due to Trump. Maybe she's anti-law enforcement due to her own personal criminal charges. I don't know.
If Trump is convicted and put in jail, you're still going to vote for him.
Well, first of all, he's not convicted until the Supreme Court convicts him. In America, that's not a conviction. We have an appeals process, which will take years. So by the time that happens, he'll be...
Wait, what? Wait, that's so nutty. I love that. God, libertarians are fucking sick, dude. Yeah, no one that actually is convicted and goes to jail is actually there in a justifiable manner until they appeal the process, and that process goes all the way up to the fucking Supreme Court. That's so sick. My DUIs ain't real until the Supreme Court convicts me, brother. He's like, listen, I got domestic abuse charges a couple years back and I went to prison for it. It was fucking bullshit. They should expunge it. Guess why? Because the Supreme Court did not convict me.
Back in office and handle everything.
No matter what the situation is,
Well, Jesus was convicted as well. Innocent man.
Yeah.
So just a conviction means nothing to us at all.
You'll still vote for him no matter.
I mean, yeah, of course the people that are at the protests are going to do that regardless. And I do think that a lot of Republicans will do that anyway. I don't know if people would rather have like a safe carcass or potentially a constitutional crisis. You know what I mean? Especially when like both parties are the evil that you know. It's not like there's anything new. A safe carcass, Joe Biden. I'm talking about the two options. If the election is held tomorrow, Trump is the candidate and Joe Brandon is the candidate. The only thing that will change Joe Brandon being the candidate is if he fucking dies, right? You have the safe carcass going up against a possible, not just like a liability or anything, but a poll came out this past weekend saying up to 27% of Republicans wouldn't vote for Trump if he was convicted. That's kind of wild how low that number is when you think about it with like the lens of sanity. You're like, only 27% of Republicans wouldn't vote for Trump if he is convicted. Like, think about that. Now that number is actually higher because that number is actually higher than Trump's approval rating. Republicans and their approval of Donald Trump has oftentimes throughout his entire candidacy actually stayed pretty stable, rarely ever getting under 90%. The fact that it goes down to 73% is kind of wild. However, it's still wild to me if if I, for a brief moment, take a deep breath and think of America as like a normal and sane nation rather than a nation of psychopaths, 27% of Republicans saying like, yeah, I won't fucking vote for Donald Trump if he's convicted is incredibly low.
Trying to accuse Trump of everything. Insurrection, sending fake electors to Michigan, Arizona, 5 other states.
The Constitution demands it.
Mishandling documents, stealing secret documents.
You mean he had it in his garage?
The Georgia's RICO law. They went after Trump University.
Oh yeah, they all loved him until they found out he loved America. They don't love America, they love their power. They love their system, their structure.
I've heard this meme so many times. This guy's just like a meme machine. He's like talking to a robot that just like spits out iFunny memes that you see circulating on Facebook. You know, they're not going after him. They're going after me, but he's standing in the way. Like that's what he's about to say. You know what I mean? Everything he's saying right now, I've heard from old ladies named Bertha posting on Facebook iFunny memes that have been like repopulated 1,000 times over and they're fucking grainy at this point.
Nixon was a good boy because Nixon went home and shut up. If Donald Trump would have been a good boy, he wouldn't be here today.
It's just the same thing that they did to Richard Nixon.
Yep.
The famous...
Okay, technically that's not false. I take it back because yes, Donald Trump did not shut up, as in he lost and he kept talking and then he did mouth crimes where he talked his way into conspiracies, not a conspiracy theory, mind you, a conspiracy to commit fraud. So that's why he's not wrong technically because he didn't shut up. He kept openly doing crimes over and over again.
I've been hearing parents talking about not bringing their kids to church until they're 13 or 16 and they're old enough to make a proper decision.
No, that's not, I don't believe in that.
That's so funny. Nope. Church is good. Again, all of this makes sense if your moral system that you've designed is it's okay when I do it, it's totally fucked up, and the worst evil when they do it, which is a principle that you can apply to every single concept that Republicans engage with, okay? Every single concept is like, no, it's fine. Of course it's fine. We need to do church indoctrination. We can't do school indoctrination. It's okay when we vote. It's okay when we lie, steal, and cheat. It's not okay when the other side even goes out and votes, actually votes. All of their votes are fraudulent and fake and gay. All of our votes are the real ones, and they're somehow still being suppressed.
What do we do about this indoctrination?
That's another problem. I think over the last several decades, our schools have been infiltrated by communists. I think homeschooling is an option, or private schools. I see a lot of states passing reforms to the education with school choice. Public school system is corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, guys, what are we doing here? Look at this. It's official. Ryan Walters, the superintendent in Oklahoma State, has announced that the state has partnered with PragerU. PragerU is a nonprofit that creates content promoting conservative viewpoints on various political, economic, and sociological topics. Please tell me more about how the American school system is normal. This is right after Florida, okay? How fucking insane is that? Can you imagine? Like, we love talking about, like, TikTok is melting people's brains or whatever. But I have said this time and time again, and I will repeat myself. This is a Noam Chomsky certified banger, okay? The greatest terrorist, the greatest threat to American hegemonic power, or the greatest threat to America in general, American futures, has always been the Republican Party, okay? Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, or whoever the fuck you want to point to, could never imagine the death and destruction that American Republicans cause to the rest of the planet, but even to themselves, okay? This is so psychotic. It is so psychotic. Democrats on the State Board of Education are pledging to fight efforts to introduce PragerU in Texas. PragerU is borderline propaganda. It's not propaganda. Borderline propaganda. It is propaganda. They openly state that it's propaganda.
What do we do about this indoctrination?
I think you have to get rid of the Department of Education. We need to get the people that are indoctrinating our kids out of school.
Who are those people?
Teachers. Change what they teach to where it's not something that's crazy biased for the left. We need to teach history. We need to teach the facts, not an opinion. You teach the history, don't teach.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. Also, bro, you're in that age range of being educated. You have already been indoctrinated through our schooling system, unless he was homeschooled or some shit. And you came out to be this fucking little groiped up shouty. So what the fuck are we talking about? Shouldn't he be in school right now? I don't understand. My man's like, our kids? Bro, what do you mean? You are the kid. You are the fucking kid. What the fuck are you talking about? Our kids.
You're local?
I just moved to Georgia,
Very
2 months ago.
Oh wow, where'd you move from?
I lived in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to leave because of Ron DeSantis, and kind of messed up the state a little bit.
Ron DeSantis messed up the state. How did he mess up the state?
Man, just everything got so expensive. Inflation went through the roof. Like, it's $4,000 for a 1-bedroom. It's kind of wild, you know? I moved there when COVID hit. I grew up in LA, and then COVID hit. I moved to Florida. It was great, you know, during COVID for the first year or two, and then ever since he won re-election in 2022 in the midterms, he kind of just stepped aside from being governor and did like a shadow campaign.
My problem is that he knew he wasn't going to be around. He knew he was running for president when he ran for his second term.
Yeah.
He knew he wasn't going to be around to govern this.
God, that shirt goes so fucking hard. I'm sorry. That shirt goes so goddamn hard, dude. It's sick. Is this dude a MAGA communist? No, man, he's not.
Would you vote for him for governor again?
I would never, ever support him. I supported him during midterms, supported him during his first thing. I had him on the side of my trailer, had it blown up, Make America Florida, and then he switched on Donald Trump.